Yeah, hi. So today we are going to discuss the another approach to send the data from one component to another component, from child component to a parent component by the use of the view child decorator. So let's understand first what is at the rate view child. So it is a decorator that allows a parent component to access a child component directives or elements and interact with it. So basically we can access the child component from a parent component. So it is kind of a reference variable or an instance which allows parent component to access the child component properties. Like, let's say we have a variable inside a parent component or a method inside a parent component inside a child component. Then we can take the reference of this child component inside a parent component, and with this reference we can call the method or a variable declare inside a child component. And also it provide a way to obtain a reference to a child component instances or directive in the parent component class, enabling the communication between the parent and the child component. So the conclusion is that with this we can do the communication between child to parent, and at the rate view child is kind of a reference. So what is the purpose of view child? First, it access the child component or it like directives. So it allow a parent component to access and also manipulate the properties and method of a child component or directives. So this is particularly useful when a parent need to pass a data or trigger action within a child component. So the second purpose is like direct interaction. So it enables a direct interaction between a parent and a child component. Then we go with a view child. And also it facilitates communication that goes beyond simple input and output binding. Right. So basically this is used for do the communication purpose. If we want to do any modification or do want to manipulate the properties of a child from a parent, then we can use this at the red view child. Right. So this is all about the theory about at the red view child. Now let's go to the application and see how we can implement this in our application. So here we have a child component and we have a parent component. So let's see what we have in the HTML of child. It says only child works, and then we have one parent component HTML in which we have imported the child component. So basically when the parent component will get load, then after that the child component will also get load. Now I want to pass data from child to parent by the use of view child. So let's see how we can achieve this. So let's go to the child component.ts file. So this is the ts file. In this, let's add one variable. Let's say child message of string type, and let's put a string message coming from child to parent component. So this is the string I want to pass from this child component to a parent component. So this is the variable I created inside my child. Let's go to the parent component first. And in the parent component, I need to get the reference of the child component. Then with that reference, I am going to call the variable of this child component child message. Then it will give me this message, right? So this is a very simple and sorted way to communicate between these two component. So basically in this parent component I need to first create the reference of this. So for that, let's say view child. Okay, so with the view child, and then in the bracket we need to call the child component. Okay, and then yeah, and then we need to put comma, and then we need to put one like property that is static equals to false. Why we do this? Basically this is done so that once, so this reference will come into picture once the component will get initialized. Okay, so further in this lecture only I will explain you and you will come to know why we are using this. Okay, so let's create one variable, let's say with the name child, and this is of type child component. Okay, so let me define yeah, so this is the way we define the reference variable of a child component. So here we are using at the rate view child decorator, and through this we are trying to create the reference of the child component. So basically child is the reference variable of this child component now, and with this child we can manipulate the properties of the child component. Either we can access the property or the variable or the method which we have inside our child component. So this is a very simple way. In this way you have to create the reference of a child component. Okay, but you have to use view child decorator in your parent component class. Okay, now let's create one yeah, so now let's create one message. Let's say receive message. So receive message of or let's create one like variable of receive message. Now uh, yeah, basically in ng so there is one like lifecycle method, that is ng after view init. So this method, so this is basically a live hook method of Angular, and this get called automatically when the component get initialized. Okay, so in this I need to access this dot child. Okay, or what we can do, so let's yeah, this dot child, and in the child component what we have created, we have created this child message. So let me try to access this. So yeah, with this I'm trying to access the variable declared inside child component with this child reference variable, and whatever it will return, let me store to this receive message. All right, so why we are doing inside ng after view init? This is done due to eliminate the runtime error which we get at the initialization. So we have to be sure that this reference should access the child component properties when the component is get initialized. So that's why we are making this static as false, so that an inside ng after view init like life cycle hook method, we are calling this child message. So this will return the proper yeah, so this will return the literal which we have stored here, and then we'll store into receive message. And now this receive message in our parent html we can simply try to display by the help of interpolation. So what we are doing here, we are simply created a reference variable here of a child component using at the rate view child, and then with this reference variable inside ng after view init life cycle hook method, we are calling child message, and then trying to receive this message and storing into receive message, and this receive message we will display in the html. So in this way we are trying to get the variable from the child component to a parent component. All right, so I have already saved. Now let's go to the Chrome and check the output. You see, we got the output, right? Message coming from child parent component. So it means we are able to get the message from child to a parent. All right. Yeah. So this is the one way to get the message. Now let's understand how we can call a method which is already present in child component through the parent component, because already we have taken the reference variable inside our parent component. So let's say so let's do one thing. Let's create one method inside a child component. So this is my child component. Inside, let's say create one message, one method we are creating, and then we are putting console.log, and in this log we are just showing this dot child simply, let's say, inside so message. Okay, and let display this dot child message. All right, so this dot child message. Yeah, so this is one method I created inside my child component, and basically from my parent component I want to call this so message method which is present inside child component. So how we can do this? Simply we can do through so inside the ng. Okay, so let's create one more button. Okay, so with the button I want to do this. So let's say in my parent component, let's say create one button. Okay, button, let's say call child method, and let's create one event, click event. And with the click event I want to call method, let's say call child. Okay, so this method I need to create inside my parent.ts file, and inside this, with this reference variable of child, I want to call the method of child component which is show message. So in my parent I want to call this message show message simply. Okay, so let me save this. So what I am doing, I have created one button, and with a event, with a click event, when we click a button it should call a call child method of a parent component.ts, and in this we are calling the show message of child component through the reference variable of child. Okay, and inside the child what we have, we yeah, we have put one console, or let's do one thing, console also, and let's put alert also. Okay, so it will be visible to us. So yeah, this is the alert I added. Now we have saved out the file. Now let's go to our, yeah, and let me refresh it. So you see, already I have shown you how to get the message from child to parent. Okay, this is one. Now in my parent component html I created one button, and this button, after clicking this button, it should call the child method, right? So in this way we are communicating from parent to child. Okay, so let's click this. You see we got an alert inside, so message coming from child or parent component. So like how many times we will create a click, then it will call that method. It means we are able to call a method of a child component, or we can get the variable from the child to parent by the help of view child, right? I hope you understand this session. In the next we will go further. Thank you.